All right, folks, so we're going to officially start, and I'm going to minimize this and start this up. Now, when we meet the band booster team, I can go back to the videos, and so they can show their faces if they like. All right, so here's our plan tonight. We're going to be first starting with, well, like I just said, meeting the band booster team, who those folks are, and they're going to talk a little bit about the behind the scenes with supporting the band program on the parent side. Then we're going to shift quickly into the band's YouTube channel. If you don't know what that channel is, you absolutely need to know how to find it because that's our main hub for information. The master calendar review is just a bunch of dates. We're going to highlight what those important dates are, and also it's on our YouTube channel. After that, we're going to go into our band handbook, really digging into the meat of the program, but we did highlight what's most important for our new parents as well as our returning parents. So we encourage you to, after this meeting, just kind of flush through anything we didn't go over today, but just to remain efficient with our time. Number 5 is going to be the different materials needed in band. Obviously, for our new folks here, it's going to be obtaining an instrument, where to get that instrument, and whether that be at a music shop or possibly through the school. And for that, number 6 is going to be our private instructor division. A lot of folks like to get some extra help outside of the band program at Maryland. And so we already have a lot of students taking lessons. So we're going to share who's already behind the scenes helping us on that front. And then finally, we're going to share our contact page, and then we'll open it up for any questions. All right. And Miss Jordan, I guess my official name, let me introduce myself, huh? So my name is Mr. Orleski. I teach band at Maryland, and I just jumped right into the plan, and I apologize for that. And Miss Jordan, let me come back to your lovely face. Miss Jordan, do you want to introduce yourself formally?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ms. Jordan. I'm the assistant band director here at Maryland PVA Middle School. And thank you for coming out tonight.
Fantastic. All right. So a lot of the other great faces that you see is going to be our band booster. So I'm going to toss it over to them so we can follow our agenda, and then I'll go back to the slides. So who would like to take it away from that team?
I think I'm fastest on the unmute. I am going to pass it over to Lisa and Patricia, who are the lead officers, but my name is Pam Sheffman. I have a 7th grader who is in honor band and super excited for his experience this year. He started out in basic beginner band, and so if you're a newbie, know that they're going to have a blast. Also, just want to let you know, I am also a PTO liaison for the band. So there'll be times when you hear things from me directly about other magnet areas or other things going on across Meyerland, because we have such a great, vibrant community. We want all the parents to know what's happening across the school. So I'm your liaison for the PTO. Just want you to know that you'll hear from me in that regard. But I am going to turn it over to Lisa and Patricia because they are your head officers, as well as Joe is one of our officers too. So over to you.
Okay, hi guys, I am Lisa White. I also have a 7th grader who's in honors band, and this is my first year being on the Booster Club, so I'm super excited as we go through this journey. And we have so many things that we're going to hopefully bring to you guys so we can get a lot of volunteers. Pam is our secretary, but she's our interim secretary, so we're going to have to fill her position pretty fast because she's so busy. So I just wanted to introduce myself and glad to be on board. Is Precious on?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
Hi, Precious.
How everybody doing?
Precious, you don't mind introduce yourself a little bit, that'd be great. So.
Yes, I am. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there you
I'm trying to get my phone situated. Good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. My name is Precious Jones. I have a son that goes to Maryland. He's in the 6th grade. I have one that just left Maryland that was in the band. I hope that being on the band booster parent that we'd be able to bring a lot of knowledge and stuff from what happened last year and new stuff we're trying to do this year and get it up and rolling.
Hey everybody, my name is Joe Collins. I am the new treasurer for the Meyerland Band Booster Club, and I have an 8th grader who's in symphonic band. So I'm really happy to be here and trying to help out the Booster Club any way I can.
Great. And just as who the booster is and what we do. So the booster is an opportunity for families to get engaged to help support where HISD and the school cannot. There are a lot of opportunities that our band students will get to go to other traveling away from campus or those kinds of things where maybe HISD can't support those. So our goal is to raise funds in order to make our band the best band for any middle school in HISD. We have just started off right now in terms of our booster grouping. So we are excited to bring to you, our goal is really to fundraise and get back our 501c3 status, which makes us tax exempt. So it only takes $400 to file that paperwork. So we are kicking off our membership drive here tonight at this meeting. So you'll see some more things in the weekly messaging that you get from Mr. O and band about the booster and what it is. We're trying to make membership easy at $10 a family to join. And we also are hopeful that with that, we'll be able to get our status back and then host at least one event every long term. So again, this winter, fall, and then again in this winter, spring, we hope to host at least 2 events to bring and build community. And that's what the booster is here for, is to build community and help support our students to be the best band they are. So we're excited to be able to bring back the booster. We have a great group of folks. And again, as Lisa had mentioned, I'm in an interim role because I'm also doing this PTO liaison. So we're going to probably ask for any parents who are interested in wanting to be engaged in the booster in a leadership capacity. We welcome you. The secretary role is kind of the fun role because you get to touch a little bit of everything, but you have lovely folks like Precious, who's our president, and Lisa, who is our vice president, kind of running the show. So after that, if you have any questions about the booster, you can either send them through Mr. O to us, or you can send them directly to us. We're looking forward to having a great year together. I'm going to turn it back to you, Mr. O.
Okay, and let's turn this back on. You guys did so well. Wow, you really know what you're doing. Good job. All right, so thank you, Band Booster team. And there's Miss Jordan. Okay, my partner. And we're gonna go back to our presentation so we can move forward and get to your precious questions at the end, okay? So our band YouTube channel, right there. So we're gonna search for our band YouTube channel by Ireland PVA Band. There's a lot on here, but right now it shows that we used to have the online learning. It shows how far back that this site can go, but we have a variety of our update files, important files for the program, concerts that we have done, important demonstration videos, basically you name it, and it's going to be on there one way or another. We get a lot of suggestions also from different staff, feedback, and students, and it's always evolving. So please just keep, if you subscribe, we're not making any, it's not monetary, not making any money off this site, but it's more for just to keep everybody updated. I initially launched this site because I like to do the combination of storing videos as well as storing files. So those files are going to be in the description box below. So you scroll into the description box and then it'll be some sort of link there. But again, it's been with us for a while and we're going to continue using it. Okay, here's our master calendar before I shift it over, I believe, to Miss Jordan after this. And if Miss Jordan, if you want to comment on any of these events, I know it's probably in the band handbook, so we can touch on it after. This master calendar is off of our YouTube site. It is a Google form, and it does ask you to share and fill out your acknowledgement that you understand. It is a live document. So if I do update or Miss Jordan updates anything, then it will be automatically changed through the YouTube site, so you don't have to like download a new link or anything like that. Obviously, right now we're on the band parent night right at the top of the list. And then next week is going to be the Ireland PBA open house. So scrolling down, you see some to be announced events. So some football games that we may attend to support the high school, and then some region auditions and to work with Katie and A-Leaf. But really the big one that all of us, even beginner students, is going to have to do is going to be in December, Monday, December 12th and Tuesday, December 13th. Now, I know a lot of folks do work. We would like to do an afternoon concert. We're doing this to obtain this experience, to see how it flows. We've done a lot of concerts after school, some great, some a little bit rocky after school, with food being delivered and different things like that. So we like to try to do it after lunch in school and see how that flows. That means that in the spring, as you look down at the bottom, it says May 8th, May 9th. That doesn't interfere with STAR testing, because we checked that out. That's to be announced, because we want to just kind of see how the December goes, and then we'll let you know. So that's one instance where you're going to have to keep tabs on the master calendar, because it will be updated. Of course, in the update contact emails that we send out, Miss Jordan or myself always updates you in multiple ways. So that's our master calendar. Okay, we're going to dip into our handbook now, and we're going to start off with attendance and how important that is. So, Miss Jordan, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so attendance is exceptionally important with us. They must participate in all performances. If they miss a performance, it's really impossible to make up a performance. That performance, once it's done, it's over. So that's why we have created the master calendar. That's why we have the YouTube channel, to keep you involved. We also are communicating with you through Power School so that you know what's going on. So our policy on attendance is, if they miss a performance, it is a major grade, and therefore it is a 0, because we cannot give you a grade for something that just did not happen. We can't even give you a 50 for something that did not happen, and that is in alignment with HISD fine arts policy. However, we do take certain instances or exceptions into consideration: death of a family member, or a tragedy, family tragedy, something like that. And those things need to be communicated to us with documentation. And then we'll both confer with one another and come up with what type of grade we'll give, or whether we'll excuse the student. Unexcused or missed performances, rehearsals will impact the student's grade. Everyone is needed. Your child is important. Everybody's significant. Their part is significant. The whole band is heard. Everybody rehearsing together. So for a student to miss, it will really impact the performance. After 2 unexcused absences, a student will be removed from the performance ensemble.
All right, Miss Jordan, thank you. Is the sound output okay, Miss Jordan, on your end? I don't know if there's any like extra feedback or whatever. Are you okay with?
It sounds good.
Your technology is okay? Okay, I just wanted to double check that. All right, so we'll move on. Okay, teaching and learning. So this is a huge one, because some students start in the elementary level, and what they do in a lot of those levels, due to the fact that they're young and in elementary school, they learn by rote. And that is a lot of, I'm going to demonstrate something, the teacher, and then the students will mimic and have that experience. So if you think about a simple song like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, they'll sing the first part of it, and then the class will sing back, right? So in middle school, now that they're more gaining that independence, we teach them the skill to really dissect the music, all the details of the music, and to be independent, basically to go into like a music library, pick up any sort of piece of music that they want to play, and then be able to be successful to embark on that challenge. And so that is what we really try to strive to do. Perfection, a lot of educators and musicians say, well, it's got to sound perfect. It's got to sound perfect. And, we've talked, at school that, well, perfection's really a perspective. And so while something is perfect in the subjective field, such as music, even though you do all the objective details, to somebody else, it could be a little bit more mysterious or a little bit louder here or a little bit shorter on this phrase. And so we really strive for progress, to practice, ask questions, and have those skills to want to do better. And so it shows one of the playlists here on our YouTube site that shows different levels. That's a whole separate thing. We break it down to guiding the students to focus on certain concepts such as rhythm, pitch, dynamics, intonation, articulation, and these videos here provides tools for them to use. All right, Ms. Jordan, go ahead. This is updated.
Okay, so our grading breakdown is as follows, and we are now in alignment with the entirety of the school as we were told. So each band student's grade will be broken down into the following categories. 45% goes to performance instrumental assessments. So these are concerts as well as instrument assessments, performance assessments. 35% will be classwork, which would be written or oral quizzes, classroom fluency, rehearsal fluency. 20% goes to homework, which is a practice records and any music assignments given.
Okay, well said. So let's go ahead and move it on. Okay, home practice. So we have our old picture here from last year for the band practice log. And I wanted to show this because it's going to be what students remember, but there's going to be a new form. We're introducing a new form that will use another program for the students to record themselves, as well as record the actual physical time of what they spent on their instrument. So home practice is tremendously important. We understand that not everybody has the most, I guess, conducive play, if that's the right word to use, the best place to practice at home. Some folks might live in an apartment. Some folks might have younger brothers or sisters that have to go to bed early. And that's why we try to provide some extra time at school, either that be before school, after school, or a selected time during our intervention spark period, usually in the middle of the week, just to try to help out students get that extra practice at school. But practicing at home, if you can, because it is critical to practice as much as possible to solidify the skills that we're teaching your children, or your child rather, you want to have a quiet place. You want to have a quiet place. You want to set your goals. And Miss Jordan and I, we tell the kids that if it feels like a really long time when you're practicing, it's kind of like sitting in a classroom that you might feel that it's boring. It's kind of like, well, this is taking forever because you're not engaged, right? And so when you have a practice session that just flies by, then good things are happening. Good things are happening, goals are set, and that's what we want to try to promote within our students at Meyerland. So there's, again, practice tip videos, ways to practice, and there's suggestions over there. All right, Ms. Jordan, instrument storage and identification.
Okay, each instrument case has to have the name and contact information of the student on it. Percussionists must also label their equipment. So percussionists have lots of sticks and mallets. Their names should be placed on the sticks and mallets in permanent marker, or it can be the paint pens, however you want to do it. You can even get fancy and do engraving if you want, but make sure that it is labeled because it's easy for those things to be mixed up. It's the same thing with the instrumental cases. They must have a tag, and the reason is for that is that a lot of the students have the same brand of instrument. And because their instruments may be stored in a similar location, they're rushing to get on the bus or they're rushing to get outside. They may grab another student's instrument on the accident, really believing that it is their own. And then, of course, the student who comes and finds their instrument missing may say, oh, my instrument has been stolen, when really it's just been a case of mistaken identity. That is one instance that is very important. And the next thing is, if the child takes it, or if the child is at home, a parent has to come and pick it up, then it's very easy for us to give you an instrument that has the label, contact information that that we have on file for that student. Otherwise, we can't release the instrument to you. So please, this is very important. Storage. The student's instrument must go home overnight. It cannot stay behind for several reasons. Number one, if it's at the school, then they're not practicing. So that's number one. And then number two is that it may be an instance where what happened with COVID, when we got shut down the first time, those instruments were stuck there that the students had left behind. Students who had taken their instruments home, we were able to go virtual and we were able to start working right away. Mr. Alaski and myself, we had to make special allowances, try to go in when we weren't feeling comfortable because certain instruments had been left behind, and that has always been a handbook policy. So nothing should be left overnight.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Okay, this is straightforward. So uniform, we want to have everybody in concert black. This is what we have traditionally practiced in the past. This is what we like to do in the future. And if you have any questions from the certain garments, then you can always email out to us and say, oh, is this okay? But really, we want to do the best that you can now. If you don't have a black dress shirt, black slacks, black belt, black socks, black dress shoes, it doesn't have to be the fanciest thing in the world, but it does need to be all black, because when the students have their black binder and they have their black concert attire, then we just go out as a uniformed ensemble, and it just makes that first impression no matter where we are. Use maybe a UIL competition or just our traditional concert setting. So again, if you have any further questions for this, because there's a lot of dress preferences for boys and girls, then please just reach out. We just want to be appropriate for the girls. I know Ms. Jordan has commented on it needs to be a certain length. So Ms. Jordan, do you want to just comment on the girls briefly?
I will say that anyone who chooses to wear a skirt, the skirt needs to be T-length or even ankle length because of the positioning of the stage, as well as the way that the student has to sit when they're performing and filming that takes place, pictures that are being taken. So if there is going to be a skirt or a dress worn, it needs to be T-length or ankle length.
Okay, great. Let's move forward. Okay, contests. These are Miss Jordan, because it's pink contest.
No, we're gonna do.
People probably caught on to that now, that I'm blue and you're pink there. Yeah, okay.
Okay. So we're going to be participating in TMEA All Region. Before COVID started, this was always a habit of ours, and we're getting back to it. So TMEA All Region is an audition that involves students from HISD, A-LEAF, as well as Katie. And those students will be auditioning on their particular instrument before 3 judges, and they have to play what they have received in the region packet according to what the judges designate. And based on their performance, if they're ranked within the numbers that the band has determined to take, they will make the TMEA All Region Band, which is a very prestigious and distinguished band to be a part of. And so that is the first thing that our students are involved in. The second thing is HISD All City. follows the same pattern as TMEA region, except it's only HISD students, okay? Middle school students from all over HISD. Same situation. If they are chosen, then they will perform as a part of the HISD all-city band. UIL solo and ensemble contest. This is unique because in this particular region, Region 23, which is comprised of HISD, Katy, and A-Leaf, there is not a particular solo and ensemble for middle school. However, in the past, we have been able to send students to the high school level solo and ensemble. And so that's something that Mr. Arlowski and I are both interested in doing this year, if allowed to do so like last time, which we hope. Then UIL concert, sight reading contest. You all, this is our star evaluation. This is our Super Bowl. This is the biggest thing that we do. We take the top 2 groups to be evaluated before adjudicators that come from the state, that are chosen by the region and approved by the state. And they will evaluate us based on concert repertoire, which will have pre-chosen and had time to prepare. It will be 3 pieces that come from what is called the PML. It's the prescribed music list. And then we will go into the sight reading room, and we all will sight read information that we've never seen before. The rules have changed on sight reading slightly. We used to have a total of 10 minutes in order to teach the piece, and then we were done. Now it's a little bit different. We're going to be piloting a new program this year, but it's still a piece of music that the conductors have never seen before and the students have never seen before. And the behavior in this room, it has to be absolutely silent. Parents, you are more than welcome to come to these evaluations, but you also, if you attend with us, you must be entirely silent, especially in the sight reading room.
All right, let's move on. Okay, seating ranks and auditions, and this depends on the ensemble, usually for experienced groups being the concert band, symphonic band, and honors band. And just today, we had an honors band seating rank this morning. And so I've already provided their ranks for myself, and I'm going to post it after this long weekend when they return Tuesday morning, which is a gray day for them. It's not just usually once a year. We want to just encourage the kids to get that extra challenge and that extra push. But here's the thing. In nature, I am not a competitive person. Excuse me. So I'm a collaborative person. And so while I welcome friendly competition, but at the end of the day, though, we need to be working as a team and coming together as an ensemble. And so how can you sit next to someone and say that, well, yeah, I'm way better than this person, but you have to share a musical experience together. And so we will give that rigor push. We will push them, and the kids really do like it. But like I said, on the back end of it, we do come together, and we've done that for years. And so we're going to continue to do that. It's been successful, and I would like to do more for particular ensembles this year rather than last year. Give more opportunities to do it. Okay, this is a big one, and it's pink, but I guess we can both do it. I'll let you start it first. This is definitely modified.
Oh. Okay, well then I'll just focus on, so the ensembles that we have, which are 6 ensembles, they are divided between us. And so I have certain ensembles that I lead, and Mr. Orlowski has certain ensembles that he leads. So I'll speak to the ones that I lead. I am the lead conductor for Symphonic Band, which is a UIL group. I'm also the lead conductor for percussions 1 through 3. So that's beginner percussion, intermediate percussion, advanced percussion. And the last group that I am the lead conductor for is jazz band.
Okay, great. Yeah, so this right in the middle, as you see this big blue square, it kind of pans over all of the expanding circles on purpose because, like Ms. Jordan said, she leads the different percussion ensembles. They're multiple tiered, so being level 1 more towards the center, and then so on and so forth. The brass ensemble, reed ensemble, and flute ensemble is going to be mixed with oboe as well, so that's modified. That's more of a homogeneous group where we really just start the beginners in a small group and focus on them and just their instrument. They do work on ensemble skills where they have to balance and blend and work as a unit, but because they're not hearing all the different instruments at that beginner level, we really get to dig deep in getting that foundation skill. So I'll be leading those 3 ensembles in those instruments, and then that's shifted after that to the concert band, which is our tier 3 group. Now all of the instruments are together except for percussion. Percussion will be, after evaluation from Miss Jordan, have the honor to come into the concert band and work. So those students can have that experience after have that permission from Miss Jordan. And so the concert band does have all the woodwind, brass, and percussion instruments. Then after that, like Ms. Jordan said, it shifts into symphonic band, which is a UIL group, and then goes to honors band, which is also a UIL group, which is conducted by myself. The clarinet choir is something that I would really like to start. It was not in full swing last year. It's something I'd like to do after school, being a clarinetist myself, and that is a possibility to take to the UIL solo and ensemble competition at the high school level in the in wintertime around February. So be on the lookout, clarinet parents, for a message in the coming weeks for that. Okay, I'll keep it going for social media release. So we do, besides YouTube, use a number of software programs. Obviously from COVID, that gave us the opportunity to use a lot of technology. It's now called not Flipgrid, but Flip. Flip is a chance for the students to record themselves and for the educator to provide feedback. So a lot of times what we've done over the years is students record themselves, and then instead of typing something back to the students, I've just picked up the instrument myself and just demonstrated something back that can help the student. This really helps the students from afar. And so if you don't know, I live in Katy, so I drive about 2 hours a day. So even though I do stay after school mainly on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this year, because I can pick up my youngest daughter from daycare late, I do like to help whenever I can from afar. And so this program has served very well. And also something I've done last year is I usually play their recording, but then I use another program, another audio program that records my voice. So hopefully this is clear. Their video is playing, their visual video of them playing for me is playing, and then I'm recording myself through another software. So the software is hearing their video. So I can give that live feedback like as the video is going through. So instead of like going and say, oh, measure 1 and 2 is, this is not okay. It kind of gives that live feedback. The idea comes from UIL, pre-UIL, and they do that a lot at the competition level. So yes, oh, last thing, I apologize. For the YouTube site, a lot of times we record students in class and share it on YouTube. It's always with the purpose for educational growth. And so we need to be mindful that we're a team as a program, and that no video will be used with distaste. It's always used for educational growth. Okay. I guess it's blue. It's still on me. Okay, let's go. I'm giving you a rest, Miss Jordan. Is that cool? All right. Here we go. So we got all the different materials here. And we have our main textbook. As you can see on the top, we have our black binder. Like I mentioned before, when we're talking about concert attire, we want the students to have a black binder, of course, a pencil. They already bring that. Their Chromebooks are starting to be issued out now through the school. Their materials such as sticks, reeds, oils, their instrument case, and then I skipped over the center one, which is our official textbook. We do use measures of success. There are 2 levels. The top one there that you see is level 1, which is the blue top, and then the level 2 is like an orange-red. I believe it's an orange one. We do use those 2 textbooks, and then we can combine that. After the students learn it, we can combine the assessment. They can record in the flip program, so on and so forth, play for their friends in class, things like that. And then everything else that you see below, folks, concert music, region music, a lot of jazz band music Miss Jordan gives, sight reading music, chamber music, a lot of supplemental materials that we may make and compose ourselves. That's just given to the students for free. We just give that for free and usually just copy that for them. Okay, here's a big one. Now the handbook is mainly over and we're shifting into how to get an instrument. And so, Miss Jordan, this is a big one. I'll leave it to you.
Okay, option A is to own an instrument from a local music vendor by setting up a contract with the vendor. So the 3 vendors that we work with, we have experience with, are Fort Bend Music Center. I actually used to work there as a private lesson teacher. I'm very familiar with the staff there, and we've done business with them for years, Music and Arts. I did the rent-to-own programs through Music and Arts. I own a trombone and a clarinet that I did the rent-to-own program through Music and Arts. So I'm very, I have intimate knowledge on that process. And then H&H, Brook Mays, we also work with them. So the reason, I'm so sorry. The reason that I suggest those 3 vendors is because, and I suggest the rent-to-own process. And Mr. Orlowski agrees with me because all 3 offer insurance. And so we know middle school students, even high school students, they're kind of rough with their instruments. They're learning to get to that professional level. So it's easy for them to leave something behind they didn't intend to, they forgot. They may drop their case. It may get wet, something like that, or things just break as they're trying to play because they're learning and their grip is too tight. So all 3 of these offer levels of insurance. Some of them you pay a little bit extra. Some of them the insurance is built in until you have totally played the instrument off. All 3 will explain their insurance policies and everything. Cleaning is free with all because until you finish renting the rental program, and you don't pay extra for those cleanings. You don't pay extra for those repairs. And some of them even give the child a loaner as their instrument is being repaired. It's really the best option for your money. However, option B, if you're not able to do a rent-to-own program, then you can rent a school-owned instrument for the year. However, we must be honest, the instruments that we have in our inventory are very limited. And really what we want is to offer the instruments that we have to students who have no experience. We want to give it to them first. They've never been in a band program, so they don't have an instrument. However, a child that's been playing for a year or more, by this time, we would like for them to have their own personal instrument. And therefore, we can give it to the beginners. But if there is a financial need, if there is a situation going on, please feel free to talk to me personally. Please feel free to talk to Mr. Orlowski personally, and we will do what we can. We'll even go as far as borrowing instruments from another school if necessary.
Very well said. Thank you. And that will bring us to our second to last slide, folks. Thank you for hanging with us. And that will bring us to our private instructor division that is growing. It's been in development for a few years, as we started with Ema on the flute and Johnny on the saxophone, and then we expanded off to Alana, and then we just added Shannon, thanks to our Vice President, Lisa. So for sharing that. Low brass, Ali Jackson. He is a educator at Lovett Elementary School, very well known musician in the community for Houston. And so he's going to be helping us with the tuba and the euphonium as space needed, as he is very busy. Percussion family, we're still working on different locations and locating them. And then high brass, like horn, French horn, and trumpet, we're still working on some of the other brass instruments. So this is an evolving list, and I will share this again through the weekly updates, and I'll share it physically in the classroom. I'll print it out and just keep updating it. So now to comment on the private instructor division, what they specifically do, because, well, what makes that a different resource than just using Miss Jordan or Mr. Orlusky? Private instruction really just gives the extra challenge and the extra push, and really digs into the details of a professional that plays that instrument. Now, Miss Jordan, her first instrument is piano and her secondary instrument is percussion. My first instrument is clarinet, secondary instrument saxophone. So while we are trained to play all the instruments, the thing is, we play the instruments we just mentioned at the highest caliber level, and we're still learning and pushing forward as a professional. So if you get like a flutist, for example, who is in the Houston Symphony performing way more than us, then we want to tap into whatever resources we possibly can. We've had like the clarinet, Alana, she has Zoomed with students before. And so sometimes she can't come into the school, so the student will use their Chromebook. They'll get a private location worked out from us and have a lesson for a half an hour. That price varies per teacher, and that's arranged by you. That has nothing to do with us in terms of payment. Okay, so if you're interested and you want to set up music lessons, you can ask us first if you want us to get any feedback, and then we can, you can reach out to these folks. Oh, and just one last thing for the private instructors. We also had private instructors come to the school and pull out students during the lessons. That's happened before COVID. And they just come into school and just borrow a half an hour during our class time. This is where it's great, where we teach like an hour and 10 minutes per period, having the block schedule. And so we have a little bit of flexibility to do that. And sorry, I forgot that. Okay, that brings us to our last slide, contacting us. And isn't that a lovely picture by Miss Jordan? It's nice. All right, so we got our contact there. Give me a laugh, Miss Jordan. Jesus, come on. All right, and we're gonna please allow for 48 hours for us to respond to emails. I'm sure you were smiling and laughing, by the way. This is just, you remember back in COVID, we're teaching Microsoft Teams, trying to get some responses from the class. Anybody? Anybody? It's like Bueller. It's like Ferris Bueller. Bueller.